continues to grow here and the excitement continues to grow. Now, in terms of what is expected today, the former president officially in town. I want to show you some video of him voting earlier today, and this was this afternoon after finishing up very early this morning campaigning in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Now, if you watch the polls, you know that they are razor thin in the race between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. So many are saying this could go either way. And when the former president was asked by reporters today about if he would accept the outcome of the election if he did not win, listen to what he had to say.
They're concerned that if you lost this.
Now, in the last few hours, the former president has posted several videos and messages to X urging supporters who are voting in person today to stay in line. You heard from Caroline and Matt at some of the polling locations about those long lines. He is urging his supporters to stay in those lines and make sure that they cast their ballot. Now, as far as his watch party tonight, based on a word from local law enforcement, he is expected to arrive here between 10 and 11:30. At a news conference over the weekend, law enforcement officials said that they expected him to arrive at his watch party between 10 and 11:30. So we're looking at between 30 to an hour and 30 minutes before he is expected to arrive here at the convention center. And he will be greeted by hundreds of his supporters. Where media is set up, we kind of split the room, but in this section behind me, I would guess that estimate there are over 400 people in place in front of the stage waiting for his arrival. Excited about him coming, but also very excited about the way that the scale is tipping at this point. Trump collecting big but pretty expected prizes as he's named the projected winner here in Florida and then also Texas. No projected winners have been called for swing states. We know everyone is watching that very closely, but Fox News is tracking data as it's tabulated that shows Trump is the lead at this moment in North Carolina and Georgia, two states that he very much courted during the campaign. But again, votes there are still being counted. But when it was announced here during this watch party, you heard the supporters here cheering, so they see this as a glimmer of hope. Back to you. I would say optimism, a lot of excitement within the last 15 minutes to an hour. We have heard back-to-back cheers as projected races have been called in former President Donald Trump's favor. In the last few minutes, we heard about South Carolina, Trump projected winner there, as well as West Virginia, Indiana, Kentucky. Now, when we talk about these states in particular, West Virginia, for example, this is the third time he's won that state in a presidential election cycle. So these aren't necessarily big surprises, but certainly a lot of excitement for people here who are rallying and ready to see this election come to a close, and they are pushing and wanting former President Donald Trump to take the White House. So this is officially becoming a watch party. Now, former President Trump supporters told me when I spoke to a couple of them today that they feel confident in the outcome tonight. And the former president's tone has been positive as he wrapped up campaigning really early this morning in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And when reporters spoke to him today after he voted, Republicans point to a large number of early voting that was done and a large number of registered Republicans who voted early. Now, it will likely be a very long night as the results trickle in, and there is a possibility that a winner of this election might not be called tonight, something Trump did call an outrage.
I think.
Now, when Trump was asked earlier today if he would accept the results of the election if he lost, former President Trump said, quote, "If it's a fair election, he'd be the first to acknowledge it." For now, I'll send it back to you. This race was certainly a comeback season for him. If we focus just on the swing states, he flipped several states back red since his 2020 run. We're talking about Georgia, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. And the writings may have been on the wall when Trump was named the projected winner in Pennsylvania. Voters there have voted for the winner of every presidential election since former President Barack Obama. Now, I started off talking about that election party last night. I want to take you back there. This is video from that watch party. A lot of confidence and excitement in the room leading up to yesterday, Election Day. Trump on the campaign trail said that he had hosted more than 900 rallies. And so there was a sense of excitement that the work that he had put in was starting to pay off.
This is
Trump also captured other swing states, including North Carolina. Now, as I mentioned, we're still waiting on results from several swing states, including Michigan, Arizona, and Nevada.
Those winds are intense down there, Randy.
Yeah, I guess still a little bit of excitement in the air about the win for people who have really rallied around the former president as he hit the road for this next wave of campaign as he was vying for the White House again. Now, as you mentioned, the big headline this morning captured enough electoral votes for the presidency. Now, when we talk about the road to the White House, the states that were called, former President Trump got the expected states, Texas, for example, Florida, he captured our state. But this morning, the conversation has to be about the impact of those swing states. Just before 6 o'clock this morning, Trump was named the projected winner in Wisconsin. It was a state he won in 2016, but lost to President Joe Biden in 2020. Trump was also called the projected winner in Pennsylvania, the biggest swing state prize. Now, this morning, votes are still being counted in Michigan. He's leading there. If he captures that state, he will have cracked the blue wall again. He did it in 2016 when he won Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, states that typically lean Democrat. He didn't win those states in 2020, which cost him the election. So this is a bit of a redemption moment for him. Now, at his election watch party last night, there was a lot of excitement and confidence that the work of over 900 campaign rallies was starting to pay off. Now, Trump also captured other swing states, including Georgia and North Carolina. We're still waiting on the final results, or the projected results, from Arizona and Nevada as well.